What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. And today we have the GeminiJets August 2024 releases for you all. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video, as today we check out what GeminiJets has in store to finish out the summer 2024. And man, what a time it's been. It's been so cool to see all the really cool aircraft that have been coming out and overall just the vibe in general. So really awesome to see this. I'm really eager to see what they have. We had quite a wide array of aircraft last month, so I can only imagine that they're going to finish off the summer right. So really excited for this, and I really hope each and every one of you are as well. Let's go ahead and start scrolling down, and then we'll get started here with the GeminiJets August 2024 releases. Let's go ahead and get started, everybody, here in the 1 to 400 scale. Again, very excited for this, so we can't waste any further time. This is going to be a vibe. Let's go ahead and get started. An Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 8 to kick it off, November 801 Alpha Kilo. How about this? So a very popular new offering here in the the US landscape here for aviation. So this is going to be really cool. Absolutely going to be getting this, so excited to continue to build up that Alaska fleet. That's been a fun project over time, and I have a couple of other Alaska aircraft that I need to get, so I'll make a massive company store order here in the near future. So really excited about that. That's a really great looking aircraft, and they're flying these all around now, so they already have a handful of them, and this will be a very prominent aircraft. So a very appropriate timing here by GeminiJets, and I think that's going to be a really hot seller here to start. So loving the vibe here to kick it off, and that's a great Alaska 737 MAX 8. So really glad to see that right there. And our next aircraft is going to be Nazul ERJ-195E2 Papa Sierra Alpha Echo Hotel. Really cool to see this, considering that we obviously don't get much South America representation. So I think this is a huge grand slam, especially for South American collectors, and how cool of an aircraft this is. So yeah, definitely a fascinating aircraft. Not even I'm fascinated by it. So this is a really great release right here, and ultimately I think this is going to be a really great choice here for GeminiJets. So a huge thumbs up, especially from a US collector, and always thinking about collectors in South America and other regions of the world that don't get as much representation, especially on narrow body offerings. So far so good. Let's keep this going. What a vibe right now. That's great. Delta A321 November 327 Delta November. How about that? So we haven't had one of these for 2 or 3 years at least. I think they may have done one in like 2021 or so. It was a while back, so definitely an appropriate time. I do see this as 328 here though, so I'm not sure which one is correct. It's probably this one. So anyway though, really great to see this aircraft, and they do have this additional antenna here on the CGI, so that'll be interesting to see if that makes it to the actual model. We will have to see, but yeah, I'm pretty content with my Delta 321 fleet, so I'll probably let that one go, but still absolutely awesome to see this aircraft getting done. And if you're in need of a Delta A321, GeminiJets has you hooked up. So I thought they would maybe gonna lighten it up just a little bit on the releases here, considering how good they've been lately, but it appears to me they're going full steam ahead. So I'm really liking it so far. Let's see what we can get as our next aircraft. Man, this is awesome. A Delta 767-400ER. It's November 845 Mike Hotel, and I believe this is the red ribbon. Yes, the BCRF. Man. Oh, they're not playing around today. This is really impressive. So awesome release right here for sure. This is definitely one I'll have to consider. I'll probably either get this one or the Sky Team 764. I already have several Delta wide bodies, especially with all the Team USA LA-28 special liveries coming out. I got some of those that I still want to get as well. So this is going to be tough to break it down, decide exactly what I want to get. But, my fleet's kind of turned into a heavy Delta one. Obviously, American's been my prominent airline, but Delta's definitely getting their fair share representation. So who knows? Maybe I can just go ahead and splurge and get both. I'm not sure, but anyway, really awesome to get some more 767-400s. This is one of my absolute favorite ones that they have, and the purpose on this livery is also immaculate. So I don't know, got a bunch of thinking to do there. Panda's also done their version of it as well, so it'll be interesting to see how I decide to evaluate this. But no matter what the case is, this is a really great release right here, and I think that this will be another very popular offering. So excited to see how they do on the livery, and again, very good purpose with this aircraft. So this has been an awesome release so far, and we're only 4 aircrafts in, so who can only imagine what we're going to have for the rest of this release. Okay, we have an Emirates Airbus A310, and this is Alpha 6 Echo Quebec Bravo, so a very unique aircraft. I thought they did this in 1 to 200 a few months ago maybe, or a similar aircraft in 400, so maybe the livery was also different. I'm not exactly sure, but this is a very interesting throwback aircraft here for Emirates. So yeah, cool to see them doing this one. I think this is a pretty good way to transition in, because I'm sure we'll have more Emirates planes later in the year. So yeah, another really good offering right here, and I think this will be a cool aircraft there here in the 400 scale. And look at the engines as well, very unique. So yeah, that's another really neat release right there, and another really good offering. So let's see if this can continue. An Iberia CRJ-1000, I believe that's a brand new mold. This is Echo Charlie Mike Victor Zulu. Very awesome to see this right here. The Iberia Regional particularly. So awesome to see a new variant of the CRJ introduced. Again, the CRJ-1000 in this particular case. This is very exciting. And also note the slant on the CGI. That's really interesting. But yeah, this is a really exciting aircraft. So definitely eager to see how they'll utilize this. Obviously, there's only a handful of CRJ-1000s across the world. Iberia is the first airline and the only airline I can really think of that has it. Maybe SAS or another one of them has it over there. But anyway, a very cool aircraft for sure. And it's really cool to see another brand new sub-variant mold getting debuted. So GeminiJets really on fire here with a wide array. And I'm sure many European collectors will be very thrilled about that unique aircraft type. So overall, really cool. I'll definitely try to snag that sometime, whether it's discounted at a collectible show or equivalent. But nevertheless, that's going to be a hot seller. And that's definitely a really good release. So we've had some really popular wide array offerings here so far. So this has been really great. And now we're going to have a Qatar Cargo Boeing 777 Freighter. This has the interactive configuration, and it's Alpha 7 Bravo Foxtrot Tango. So another very cool aircraft. Again, this is the interactive series, so cool to see this. I know there's been a couple other versions of this done. However, I believe this is the first interactive one. So Gemini will have the edge in that department. So definitely another very cool aircraft right there. And these are pretty popular around the world. So I think this is a good release overall and a nice little change of pace there. But yeah, definitely still full steam ahead. There's no doubt about that right there. United 737 MAX 8 re-release. That's a very big surprise. This is November 17265. Nice. Okay, so very cool to see this one. I was really on the edge to get a second one when it initially came out in December 2021, so nearly 3 years ago now. So I'm going to go ahead and get another version of this. I've been patiently waiting to see if NG would do one to kind of, get a little bit of all of it, but it appears to me that they're off in La La Land just kind of doing what they want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get another one of these as well. So excited to have a second one, and that'll be great for airports like Great Plains, as you can see off my shoulders. So yeah, excited to have another one of these, and with a different registration and all the criteria. I think that's a great re-release. Hopefully this will be the last one before they really start to move into some of the really popular ones. Definitely need to do another E175, CRJ550, among other really popular United Evo Blue planes. But this is definitely a very popular one that was already kind of challenging to find on eBay, so very appropriately timed and another really good job. Also note the characteristics here on the top of the fuselage. That's really cool. I don't think we're quite getting into that detail yet, but yeah, definitely looking really nice right there. So that's really great to see. So overall, really awesome. And how about a Vasco or Vasco? I think it's Vasco. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced. But anyway, this is ATR 72500, first ATR in a little bit. And this is Victor November Bravo 221. Very cool airline. I'm not sure where they're based out of, but a very unique offering. And I think in popular releases like this, you at least have to have one or two of these. And this release being the Emirates A310 and then this Vasco ETR 72500. These are very cool airplanes, so very cool to see this particular offering getting done here. And that should be popular among a particular sector there of collectors. So overall, I think that's really great, and that will definitely be a really nice aircraft right there. So definitely exciting for that, and that's really great. And then we'll do for the 1 to 400 releases, a little bit smaller, but a very popular amount of offerings there, especially for the US landscape. So that's going to be a really popular set right there. So they went full steam ahead, so I'll be impressed if they continue to do so going into the following months, but we'll talk about that more at the end of the video. However, we do have a Gemini Max aircraft, or a few. We'll see how many we have. The first one's going to be a C5 Galaxy from Dover Air Force Base, 840061. I've really wanted a C5, so this might be the opportunity, especially if this goes on a Black Friday sale later in the year. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye open for this one, as I really want to continue to gain new aircraft types for my military collection. I have the C-17, B-1, and some of those other ones, but I definitely want a C5 because they're really cool, and I've only seen it static. I've never seen one fly, so hopefully that will change in the future. I'm sure it will, but it's a ginormous, super cool airplane, and hopefully they'll make a mold one day where the nose piece opens in 1 to 400. I think that would be extremely cool, but obviously that is definitely wishful thinking considering how much infrastructure Gemini already has to put in and the other model aircraft manufacturers to their products. So still really great though, and with that being Dover Air Force Base, definitely interested in that. So that will be on my swing back around list. So overall, really great to see that right there. Okay, let's go ahead and just jump right into the 1 to 200 offerings. Let's go ahead and get started. A Delta Airlines A330-300 registered November 829 November Whiskey. Very cool to see this. So this means a 1 to 400 A330 is inevitable, which this is really good timing. NG did a version of this in 1 to 400 a few years ago. So this is definitely great. I think 2021. So yeah, the last time we got a 1-200, that has been a while, and the 1-200 A330 is a really solid offering. So that's going to be a great airplane, and definitely looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. So very cool to see that. Let's get the scroll bar going correctly. And then the Eastern Express Saab 340A makes it up to 1 to 200 after a couple months, and it's November 407 Bravo Hotel again. So yeah, very cool aircraft right here, and this one should be very popular among all the 1 to 200 collectors that are interested in the throwback offerings. So definitely another very cool aircraft right there. We also have a LATAM Airbus A320neo, and this is registered Charlie Charlie Bravo Hotel Golf. Now, I believe this one hasn't came out in 1 to 400 yet, and it has the A320neo sticker, but very similar to the Azul E195, very similar concept that I'm glad to see the narrow body representation in South America getting some acknowledgement in this release. I think there in Africa are the two most least represented regions in the model aircraft landscape, so it's always awesome to see anytime those get attention. So very awesome to see that in this release, and getting even one's a rarity, so getting two is a real thrill in both scales there, so that's really cool. So very happy to see that for them. In the Porter Dash AQ400 makes it up to 1/200 scale, Charlie Golf Kilo Quebec Charlie, another very great aircraft right here. I know this has sentimental value to many, so I think this will be very popular among the Canadian collectors, especially on the East Coast. We also have a Qantas Link Airbus A220-300 Victor Hotel X-Ray 4 Bravo. What a registration. So very cool to see Qantas getting their Airbus A220s. This will be a very popular plane, 1 to 400 in the coming months, probably next month or so. So yeah, this is really great, and I really like the look of this aircraft. This looks quite nice. If you would have had a raccoon mask here, it probably would have been ideal, but this is still a beautiful looking plane. I think this will be a great future over there for Qantas. So yeah, really cool to see that right there on the A220, and Australia continues to get their adequate representation as they deserve. And we also have a United Sol Bass 747-400. That's going to be a very popular plane. November 175 Uniform Alpha is the registration, and that's going to go off the shelves. There's going to be so many retro collectors that are so fired up about that, and rightfully so. So does this begin the GeminiJets conga line of really popular throwback 747s? Because the blue tulip would be immaculately popular. You also have the Battleship Gray livery that would be really great, and then of course the final livery that the aircraft wore. So I know the Sol Bass one was still very popular among many, so this will definitely be a very hot seller. So this is definitely a really great choice there for GeminiJets, and that's going to be a really cool one. So again, would love to get one of those sometime, you know, really change it up and continue to build up that 1 to 200 fleet, but of course it all comes with time. So that will certainly be a very popular aircraft though, and make many people very happy. So overall, really great choice, and that will be quite the vibe for many. So very cool to see that, and that will be really great. So yeah, a very unique and a really quality choice right there. And of course, if you do want the flaps and slats extended, you can pay an additional $6 to $10 depending on where you get it from to get that done. So cool to see that once again. I think it's really cool. So we'll see if we get this conga line of additional throwback aircraft, but this means that this will probably come out in 1 to 400, of which it would be a super popular plane, because I think we've just had the 747 Classics done in the Sol Bass recently by Aero Classics. So this would definitely be popular if we get a 400 done. So very cool to see that. It's really great. Really, really, really good effort. Dover is also going to get another aircraft in this release, but it's a 1 to 200 C-17. It's 066168. Very cool to see this. Dover is a very popular Air Force base, so I think this is a really good job here by them, and overall this will be a really great release right there. So cool to see that. I love the detail on it, and overall I think they're doing a really good job with that one. So very great to see that right there. It's really awesome. We also have a Youngstown, Ohio ARS C-130 Hercules. It's 899106. So yeah, really cool to see the unique offerings. I really like their patchback here. I think it looks really cool, but yeah, that's really great to see them getting even more particular to some less popular Air Force bases, but obviously Youngstown has a very important wing there. So great to see this representation, and I think that'll be another very popular offering there in the 1 to 200 scale. So very cool to see the military presence this month. Speaking of military presence, how about this? We have a Golden Knights C-147A. It's 1701610 in the Golden Knights parachute team. Wow, okay, so this was super cool to see at Shepherd Air Force Base. I'm recognizing now, seeing, I didn't know that the C-147 was the Dash 8 equivalent in the military. So yeah, that's gonna make a bunch of people happy. That's really cool to see right there. And this was a really cool one to see in their demonstration. So yeah, that's really great to see, in a very reasonable price on that aircraft too. So awesome to see that, and that will be another very unique aircraft. And I'm sure for many air show fans and military fans in general, this was a really great month for you, because most of those collectors collect the bigger scale airplanes, and rightfully so, because typically their display pieces and not model airport building. But that's a really great, and I think that's going to really make some people happy. And right at the end of air show season here, getting into the fall, I think that was very appropriately timed. So that's a really great set of releases right there in the military sector, and that finishes out the August 2024 releases for GeminiJets. Absolute grand slam. I mean, you know, in general, just for the whole, you know, it really makes me think about the top releases video that I did a couple years ago. You know, you go into the demographics, the geography, the quality of the releases, the popularity scale, you know, all the factors here. And I think GeminiJets really catered to every little bit of it. I mean, it's not perfect, you know, a couple more Asia aircraft would have been nice, but, you know, we could get down to the details every single time. I think for this particular release, they really did a good job complimenting the last release, because the last release in the 400 scale at least really went into that retro department, which they definitely did a good job hitting up for those people interested. But I think in this release, the popularity was definitely there, along with a little bit more diversity. We did get that Qatar Cargo 777, so that helps over there in the Middle East region for sure. And again, I don't know where this airline's based out of. I have no idea, so that could be a factor too. So apologies that I don't know that off the top of my head. But yeah, the 400 scale release is very popular. Definitely going to get both MAX 8s, being the Alaska and United, and definitely have interest in the Delta 767-400ER, which is the breast cancer awareness livery, the Iberia C1, and then my swing back around to list includes the Iberia CRJ-1000, hopefully for a discounted price somewhere in the future, and definitely that C5 for Dover Air Force Base to continue to build up my military offerings. So really great set of releases. I think the Azul is probably the most underrated one. That's a really good release for those collectors. I'm sure they're going to be very happy about that, to finally have an opportunity to obtain the relatively new and one of the most stellar molds in the 400 scale. Not to mention the livery is really nice on that. So really great effort right there. So that's really great. And getting back into the 1-200 scale releases, I think many people will definitely be highlighted by the United Solbass 747-400, and rightfully so. It is a really cool aircraft. However, it's a grand slam for military collectors. Plenty of opportunities. The Golden Knights C-147A is one of the most unique aircrafts that they've done this year in military, so that's great to see as well. The Qantas will be very popular, along with the Porter, Latam, so a really nice wide array of aircraft. I am kind of surprised not to see a flaps down Delta E330. However, I don't even think they have that mold, so kind of hard to do it if you don't have it, I would assume. So very cool to see that regardless though, and I think that'll be a popular plane for any 1-200 collectors. So I think in both scales, you definitely have places to be satisfied. Like if you live in South America, you can get the Latam. If you live in Canada, you can get the Porter. If you live in Australia, you can get the Qantas, and so on and so forth. Obviously, like I said, a little lighter on the Asia representation this month, but with how many NG's done, I think it's a fair balance. So overall, really great set. I think it definitely balances it out well, and you know, you keep getting some popular planes in there like the Alaska MAX 8, but you also don't, you know, use them all at once. So really great. I'm eager to see what GeminiJets will do to take us into the fall, as they had just one of the strongest summers we've ever seen from them in terms of the really cool releases. And safe to say that GeminiJets is going to earn a really awesome video from me coming up here in the coming weeks regarding their current trajectory and what they've done in the community, and really the last 3 years, and how great their releases have been in conjunction with the expanded molds and other additional features. So you all can look forward to a very exciting video on GeminiJets here in the near future. I plan to work on that as soon as I get a chance to sit down one of these weekends, write up a script, and get what I have to say out, because I really want to, you know, GeminiJets really deserves a bunch of praise. It was about 5 years ago that they were rocky, but especially over the last 3 years, they've really done a heck of a job catering to popular U.S. aircraft, and I really feel like, especially in the last year and a half or so, they've really just nailed it with all of what they've done. Diversity, popularity, some retro planes as well. People do love those. So overall, I think this has been really great trajectory for GeminiJets, and I think this is the icing on the cake to have me on board for what's to come in the future. I was already quite some time ago on board, but this just reinforces all my thoughts and some. So again, I really hope all of you enjoyed today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Definitely stay tuned for more exciting content to come, and we'll be getting these releases here in the near future. So thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.